folks. Welcome back to another week of QRLS. We are in the second week of the regular season, match two of this play week. If you missed the last match, we had a heck of a game, heck of a match of the week, where I believe two wins to Clarity in overtime and a win by the Bleacher Boys. So despite Clarity getting the win, technically a tie on the scoreboard, which can't get closer than that. I'm joined by Zyrek, and today we've got the Mustangs taking on the Cyclones. Mustangs last week in their own match of the week for week one, taking the Rangers all the way to the limit. Three overtime matches and eventually coming out victorious. Cyclones, on the other hand, in a three-game series of their own, losing to the Sappers, but we're looking to see if they can bounce back. Zyrek, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. And just like Drax said, week one was very action filled. I mean, we had obviously there were some games that were a little I wouldn't say disappointing to see, but definitely wanted to see more out of the other teams. So we had in the rest of the week one, we had the Kings sweeping the Speed Demons in a 3-0 fashion. I pretty sure Drac, me and you were both casting that game. We wanted to see a lot out of Speed Demons, and I think with some of the roster changes that they made, hopefully we can see some, maybe a comeback arc from them.
Yeah, hopefully for your sake, because you were one
Very
of those
well,
roster
yes.
changes. Yeah, they just played a very uncompetitive roster, and you know, like we kind of talked up potentially like Speed Demons kind of owning that, but at the same time, making some additions to bring you a little bit closer to the cap and make your roster more competitive definitely necessarily definitely warranted, and Speed Demons is looking a little bit better now going forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other three games that we have, or well, one of them you already mentioned was Clarity 2-1 Bleacher Boys. I will say, I watched the very end of the Clarity United versus Bleacher Boys game. That 0-second goal, I believe it was by Kiptero, was phenomenal. Being able to keep that ball up and not only have a shot, but get it past all three defenders was absolutely amazing. Uh, the other two games were Armada 2-1ing Clarity, or not Clarity United, oopsies. Would be Armada beating Elite Inc. 2-1, and the Spectres taking a 3-0 sweep against the Astros. I'm gonna be honest. I was not expecting the 3-0 sweep from Spectres against Astros. I know Astros have been a pretty solid team for at least a couple seasons. I'm pretty sure they were a strong team the season before I joined. So seeing them get 3-0 swept might be in the moves to either make some roster changes or see how the next game goes that they have to schedule and go from there.
Yeah, and I also want to mention in terms of 0 seconds goals, Squiddied in the one win I believe Leading had with a 0 second goal, almost accidentally, just kind of driving forward and the ball bounces off of him, off the crossbar, off him into the net. That one was also relatively insane. Um, Again, that VOD we just got notified if you have the social roles in the Discord server, uh, that has just hit our YouTube. So if you want to go check out that match and see how Armada and the leading performed, go check that out. Um, but enough of the Armada leading. Bleacher Boys, even though I love Kiptero. Also, even going back to week one all the way, this kind of feels like it happened ages ago, but Bleacher Boys beating Hammerheads, which was still for week one, is kind of crazy. But looking forward now to Cyclones versus Mustangs. Cyclones looked a little bit disappointing in their series against the Sappers, but CJ, which we're expecting to play this week, wasn't wasn't playing against the Sappers, and I think he brings a lot to the roster. So, what do you think of CJ versus whoever he'd replace? I'd assume that would be either Prospect or Blubbernut.
Though I will say that's a pretty biased opinion. I teamed with CJ on the Cyclones for a little bit with Niner and somebody whose name I won't mention because he's not in this league anymore. But uh, we played really well. There were like CJ helped us a lot with playing more cohesively instead of all of us just going for solo plays. So I'm expecting a lot of passing plays towards people like Blubber and people like Dead. So I'm excited to see how Cyclones play, but I think with the momentum that the Mustangs have with Chop Jr., Chiwigo, and Golden Pickle, it's gonna be tough. They need to pull out their A game. And funny enough, as you said that about it being on the YouTube, uh, I think most, if not all, of week one is now on the YouTube page. So if anybody's interested, check out the YouTube link in the chat, or go ahead join the Discord. Who knows? Maybe you could end up playing on one of these amazing teams and being streamed on one of your matches.
Eh, excellent plug as always. Mustangs, you mentioned um, Chop, Choigo, and Pickle. They were pretty impressive against the Rangers, and that momentum certainly going to help them here. That is the roster that is currently in the lobby, and that's the roster we kind of expect them to play with going forward. Um, what do you think? What do you think the Mustangs have that maybe the Rangers lack, the Cyclones lack, or maybe any of these other teams lacks?
I definitely think I want to say it's a aggressive play style that they have, but at the same time they also know when they need to play defensive and when they need to play passive. So the Mustangs are a very good all round team. Um, whereas I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the Cyclones they like to play a little bit more aggressive, get a bunch of shots in. So I'd be curious to see how those two play styles clash.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We are getting close to match time. CJ and Dead are in the lobby waiting on a third. We'll let you know if the hold up, but we have a little bit of time before the match gets kicked off. Going into predictions, Zyrek, you mentioned that the Mustangs are favorited. I like to be the contrarian typically, just root for a good match. Um, kind of hope that games are always competitive, so I kind of go contrarian, but um, I think I'd have to go with the Mustangs just based off of results alone, looking only at week one, looking at the what they were able to do in the preseason tournament. They didn't quite get to do what they need to do in the preseason tournament, but beating the Rangers who went almost all the way, I mean, that's I feel like that's definitely something that maybe warrants a little bit more weight than we might be giving it. So my pick is the Mustangs as well. I do hope for a 2-1. I don't like sweeps. I feel like, especially a sweep that's very non-competitive, it's just can get kind of boring. But um, yeah, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be sweep for the Mustangs, or do you think it might be 2-1? You hoping
I
for a 2-1, expecting a sweep?
I'm definitely hoping for a 2-1. That's usually what I think a lot of casters want. They want to see as much competitiveness as possible. Then again, like you said, the Mustangs have just been they dominated most of their first game, so I'm probably gonna have to side with you as well. I think the Mustangs are probably gonna take it 2-1, as I believe we have all the players in the lobby. We've got, for the side of Mustangs, we have Chiwigo, Golden Pickle, and Chop Jr. And then for Cyclones, we have CJ, Dead, and Blubbernut, or as somebody has called him before, Blueberry.
Respect to Punchy. He was a great cast with the Cyclone Sappers game. Cyclones looking to have something to prove. Mustangs continue their winning ways. Match 1, week 2 against the Mustangs and Cyclones commences. CJ getting us early start and an early goal. He's looking to rewrite history. Kind of a awkward kickoff on the side of Pickle. Gets it just around Chop Jr. Kind of awkward touch or missed touch. Can't quite tell, but DJ's going to capitalize. And a quick solo play off of a kickoff makes it 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of games are probably going to go. I mean, kickoff goals are just so strong in this series. As Chop Jr. is going to get a good save off a flick attempt from Blubbernut. CJ is going to put it off to the side. Golden Pickle's going to look to clear it out. Almost a little bit of a double commit there, as Chiwigo and Chop Jr. were both going to look to go for it. Chop Jr. is popping this in front of the net. This is a deadly spot for it to be in, but no Cyclone players are there to capitalize off it.
Now, all of the Mustang players were back and ready for it, so I think maybe take the call. It's 1-0. Don't get too crazy. They got to score. You don't necessarily have to, but a little bit too early to completely sit back and let them take over. As Pickle with the air dribble, a bump attempt to clear Dead out of the way, just misses. Chiwigo's going to go for the double touch. CJ's going to touch it. It's going to get bouncing right in front of the net. Barely missing is the Mustangs, and they are not going to be able to capitalize, but ball still with the Mustangs. Pickle's going to send one in, and CJ's going to send it to the back corner, which Chop's going to center, but the double commit's going to prevent the shot attempt. Pickle will keep it in, go for another centering attempt, and this is just a little bit too powerful, a little bit too high for Chiwigo to get. Chop Jr. is going to take over. Another centering attempt getting it cleared by CJ.
Absolutely. I mean, like, a lot of attempts are coming out. I mean, there's so many centering attempts right now, and none of them are being capitalized on as much as they wanted to. CJ is going to bang this off the wall. He's going to look for the dunk onto Chiwigo. Isn't able to get it. Chiwigo's just going to end up dribbling and there's the ball out. Pass Blubbernut fakes out one. Can he get it past CJ? CJ plays that very, very well, and the net is wide open. Blubbernut's just going to walk the dog, but Chiwigo's going to get back right into the mix and isn't going to let that ball go in. I mean, right now they are playing decently well defensively.
Yeah, and that just goes to show how much power that kickoff goal had. That might be the only goal, but that's going to try to make it 2. Chop's going to clear it away, though. He's going to get the second touch onto here. CJ's going to sit back perfectly, but he's not going to hit that to anybody but the Mustangs. Golden Pickle going for a redirect. Can't quite get to it, though. A little bit of an ambitious attempt, but nothing else has worked so far, so you gotta throw something. Pickle will get up and get a centering attempt. Chiwigo just getting too far ahead of that, but Chop Jr. is gonna fire and hit the crossbar. Chop Jr. still on it. He's gonna go for another centering attempt. CJ to clear. Golden Pickle trying to get a 50, but Blubbernut's gonna take it to the corner. Chiwigo gonna try to get a corner touch. Is gonna fail. Bounce to Chop Jr., who's gonna get it around the... Can't quite get it all the way, though.
CJ gets a really good dunk. Blubbernut's not able to capitalize off it. Puts it off the crossbar. Very, very unfortunate, as that is second crossbar so far that has been hit. I know me and Drac have a very extensive history with the crossbars. As Chop Jr. is going to have a shot attempt, but Golden Pickle is going to put it right under the crossbar and make this game 1-1.
It's just show like how costly sometimes these crossbar hits are. If Blubbernut scores that CJ pass, it's 2-0, and it's looking like it's a very tough hill to climb for the Mustangs. But the crossbar hit creates a counterattack, creates an opportunity, and the Mustangs are going to capitalize because they're not a bad Rocket League team, and they're able to take the mistakes in front of them and turn them into chances. And enough chances will eventually lead to a goal. But Dead Speaking of chances and turning them into goals, a little bit sloppy defense. Chop Jr. gonna bounce that out to CJ, and the 50 is gonna go right to Dead, and who's gonna place that absolutely perfectly.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a great shot. Not only is it a great shot, it's also, sucks to say, but it is a really, really hard shot to hit. Because you have to thread it through the first defender and somehow get it over, if not past, the second defender who's sitting in goal. So, I mean, that is a really, really nice shot as Pickle's going to put it up towards the front, and it's going to be open, and Pickle gets the second. And it is now tied game with 1:03 left. I mean, that is not what I expected to see. There was just nobody left on defense for the Cyclones.
Yeah, it's sub 90 seconds left. You just took a lead. That was just very aggressive from the side of the. That was just very aggressive from the Cyclones in general. It just got me at a loss for words. You know, they thought they had a little bit of momentum going, try to get a second one quick, but as a result, just left the net open. CJ will be back to deal with it, so that opportunity has since passed. Dead will take it up the side wall, try and get a centering attempt, maybe a shot attempt. Yes, he will, and he's going to take the lead straight back.
Absolutely, a great ceiling shot. Chiwigo's going to be chasing it down, trying to challenge from the front side. Isn't able to get enough of the ball, and Dead's just going to pinch it. Either pinched it, or just put that ball directly into the net, and they're going to take this lead once again. They have 36 seconds left. Can the Mustangs do anything to capitalize off it? And as I say this, Golden Pickle's going to get one touch out. It's going to go to the Ming. Chop Jr.'s there, and Chop Jr. scores. We are tied once again with 28 or 26 seconds left. A great centering attempt from Golden Pickle. I will say, though, if that ball was to be saved, all three players are in the opposing half. There would have been nobody to defend, but it doesn't matter when you can score the ball.
One goal in the first half of this match. In the back half, we've had 5. The scoring has really opened up here in a way that I think might carry through for the rest of the series unless some changes happen. 3-3 with 10 seconds to go. Chop's going to hit this way up the wall. Butler's going to get the center, and Dead is just going to miss the shot. A slight misread, and the ball's going to bounce in for overtime. Dead having a chance to finish it right there, but can't quite do it. Kickoff's going to go to CJ's way, but it's going to go over his head. Golden Pickle's going to get to it. Center attempt gets stuffed by CJ. Dead's going to go up, center it to Blubbernut, but that's there for Chop Jr., who's going to maybe get a second touch, can't quite get to it, but Chawiga's going to get to it, try to get a shot, but Blubbernut will be back in time.
Absolutely. Golden Pickle with a pretty good pinch down towards the Cyclones half, but isn't able to get it in. As a great demo from Chawigo, not letting them get any attempt in. Golden Pickle's going to take the ball down. It's going to be cleared out by Dead. But Blubbernut's there, and he isn't able to get the shot on as Chop Jr. is going to meet him there. A good bump coming out from, I believe that was Dead. But no capitalization off it. Chawigo's just going to look to try and maybe bag it out, but Blubbernut's going to beat him there. Golden Pickle's going to keep it into the corner. Dead's going to pass it out towards the center, but Chop is just going to maintain control.
CJ's going to flash this across, but nobody on the side of Cyclones there. Dead's going to go for a second attempt, beats Chawigo once again, but the shot goes high and wide because this was a 50-50. CJ attempts, can't get it past Chop Jr., who will take care of it. Chawigo going for a touch, can't quite get to it, so Dead passes this up to CJ. CJ's going to look to try to get the center, but Pickle's there. Dead with the 50, and it's going to bounce good for Chawigo, but he doesn't have enough boost to capitalize, so instead he's got to go for the centering attempt, but it's actually a shot, and he dunks Dead for the overtime win.
That is absolutely amazing. A misplay from CJ, isn't able to get back onto it, and Chawigo says, you know what? You're going to 50 me on your goal line. I'm making sure that ball goes right into the net, and that's exactly what he did. I mean, that is just phenomenal. That is what we expected to see out of the Mustangs. I mean, look at this stat line. We've got Chop Jr. got 4 shots and 4 saves. I mean, absolute, like, defensive hero over here. Golden Pickle, 5 shots, 2 goals. I mean, This is looking rough for Cyclones. And I'm not saying it in the sense of, oh, they have no chance to win. It's they have to try a lot harder now to win the next two.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't want to also harp on that Cyclones doesn't have a chance. I mean, Dead and CJ both with saviors, but if we're gonna have to point out one flaw, it's got to be Blubbernut going 0 and 4 with a very costly crossbar hit. If he, like you said, a little bit with momentum, if Blubbernut scores that instead of hits the crossbar, this game looks very differently because it's a two goal lead at a very critical point. Instead, it turns into a counterattack, turns into a goal the other way. You just gotta think, dealing with these what ifs, like what if they score, it's a bit of a fool's errand. But Blubbernut's still gotta be a little bit more clinical than he's currently being, because 0-4 is not gonna be good enough to beat this Mustang team.
Yeah, absolutely. And we start this game number 2 with a great kickoff. Dead's gonna try and look to get a touch off the ceiling. Isn't able to get as much control as he wanted. As Chiwigo's gonna 50 Blubbernut, and Chiwigo's there 1 versus 1, but Blubbernut's gonna force the early flick out. Dead gets it past Golden Pickle. Chop Jr. is gonna fake it out actually, and just take the 50 instead. This is starting out like a very hot game already.
Chop Jr. takes it high, a little bit of a miscommunication, missed touch by CJ high up on the back wall. He's actually going to miss the touch completely. Golden Pickle completely there to capitalize. Nobody back on the side of Cyclones. I think they were expecting him to boom it out, but still 1-0 for the side of Mustangs. Dead gets control, is going to try to hit this to the back wall, but Chiwigo's going to get the touch, going to take that out to the corner, but CJ will be there to recollect, get this maybe centered, just going to float just too high over the net. Blubbernut with the follow-up, but Chiwigo's there with the touch. Dead on low boost. Is going to leave the net a little bit open, but Pickle can't get this shot straight. It goes to the side wall. Chiwigo's going to center it, but to nobody there. But no, the Cyclones are there either. Pickle will get the touch. Can't get the follow-up. CJ's going to hit this, get beat on the 50 attempt, but Chiwigo's going to lose the ball to Dead. Boomed out, but not cleared. Offense still on the side of the Mustangs. Dead trying to keep it clear, but Chop Jr. is going to keep it in. Chiwigo going for the touch, misreads it. Golden Pickle also misreads it. Chop with an attempt, can't quite get to it. Demos on both sides. CJ going to clear now, but Chiwigo gets a fortunate spawn and will get the touch.
Chiwigo not only gets that touch, but also is able to get that hunter boost from Blubbernut. As Chop Jr. is going to look to center it. Pickles up. A good read by CJ, able to thwart any effort off from either a double attempt or just even a shot on net. A good center attempt, but Blubbernut's going to clear it out to the side, and they're going to look for their counterattack and take a 50 onto Pickle. Chop Jr. is going to clear it up high. 2 people up for the Cyclones, and is it going to work? It might actually, but Chop Jr. is just going to clear it out to the side.
The shot from 2 people met with 2 people going up for the save, but still no goal off from the side of the Cyclones as a result. Blubbernut going to challenge Chiwigo, can't quite get to it, gets over the head, and Chop Jr. is able to capitalize. Chiwigo hits this ball high, Blubbernut gets beat, and then CJ gets beat. For a nice little team play, it's going to double the lead for the Mustangs and make that hill just a little bit harder to climb for the Cyclones.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, though, is coming back from a 2-goal game is I say easier said than done with an amazing save from Chiwigo. As he pinches it off the post and out, Chiwigo's going to maintain control, going to look to take it up in the air, gets bumped off by CJ, looking to try and maybe read Dead's touch, isn't able to. Dead's going to fake it, Blubbernut with the shot, and it's going to go over. Maybe CJ can follow up on it, and he can, but Chiwigo's there again. I mean, this is a defensive masterclass from Chiwigo. Save after save after save.
You saw bits and pieces of Chiwigo just kind of not being completely settled on defense. And going to the flip side there, we saw a little bit more defensive, like, a little bit more defensive consistency across the board with the side of the side of the Cyclones, excuse me. That's completely gone. But one of the things that, like, good saves like that does for Shoigo and the Mustangs is it kind of just starts demoralizing the other team. You get to a point where you're just kind of looking at each other like, what do we need to do to get this ball past them? Now, that shot against CJ could have been better, could have been a little bit more power, but leaving the door open in millimeter, you're still not expecting anyone to save it. And Shoigo gonna get another goal here, gonna get his first goal. The match get Mustang's fourth goal on a little bit of a goal steal. That was looking like it was gonna be Pickle's hat trick, but Pickle will have to wait a little longer.
I definitely think Pickle doesn't mind as much about having the goal stolen as much as just being able to win the series. And right now, this is the this is not Cyclones. This is the Mustangs that we saw when they were playing against the Rangers. Pickle with a double tap isn't able to get it. Chiwigo, unfortunate with a whiff, and Blubbernut's gonna be there. Flips the ball towards the net. CJ's gonna bag it out, and it's gonna go in. Dead's gonna get that shot. The follow up on to CJ's redirect. I mean, that just left the Mustangs defense in shambles. I wasn't expecting CJ to get a touch, and I don't think they were either.
Definitely not. Call that a consolation goal at the moment, but you know, if you're Mustangs, you gotta be careful to not let them gain momentum off the back of it. Ball's gonna go to the half for the Mustangs, but CJ and Chawigo's gonna get a touch. But it's gonna go to CJ, who's gonna get a centering attempt. Dead's gonna go up for it, but Chawigo's gonna be there. But the ball's gonna go back to Chawigo, and Blubbernut's gonna have the attempt, but it's gonna get cleared before the ball could get to the front of the net. 40 seconds to go. A massive hill to climb. Got to get a goal quick if they want to have a chance here. Blubbernut misses the touch, but the ball's going to be alone for CJ. Pickle's going to get a touch, but that's going to set up CJ a little bit. Who's going to get a little bit of a, is that pass attempt, shot attempt? Hard to determine, but it ends up going nowhere. That ball's going to get cleared, and you'd imagine the game starts getting a little bit unwinnable at this stage, but still, Dead's going to fire a shot. It's going to go center. CJ, Blubbernut, both miss, but Blubbernut will get a touch to prevent it from going to be a 5-1. However, it's at this point, 3-goal lead, 3 seconds to go. Mustangs are gonna win the series 2-0, and Cyclones will have to fight off the sweep in Game 3. That first game looking a little bit close. It seemed like Cyclones actually had it in terms of maintaining a lead and losing it at the very end. But Mustangs just showing up here and potentially not giving any opportunities for Cyclones to really gain much momentum. We had the goal at the end from Dead, but that doesn't inspire me confidence for them to win Game 3 and beat the sweep. And this could set up being very poorly in terms of the series outlook, or season outlook, excuse me, for the Cyclones going forward.
Yeah, I mean, right now these Cyclones have they have a decent hill to climb. They are right now just looking to they're looking to get as many points as they can. They weren't able to get it game 1, or actually they did get some in game 1 because game 1 went to overtime. Alex, who by the way is our producer right now, will definitely tell me if I'm wrong here.
They did that game. That game did go to overtime, so they will get a point. It is also important to note that week 2 is a divisional week, so these teams will see each other again in the regular season. So it is important that you understand what you do wrong in this game, so that when you play these guys again, maybe the rosters look a little bit different. But in terms of the size of the Mustangs, I don't think I've seen any roster changes from them through the course of this season thus far. You know, CJ has a little bit of a reputation for liking roster changes, tweaking things that are not working. So we'd imagine that CJ is going to be taking notes and figuring out what they need to do in order to prevent this situation happening again. Blubbernut trying to get a shot attempt, but it's just going to be just wide. Chowigo's going to take over. It tries for a ground pinch, but that ball's going to bounce harmlessly. A little bit of a double commit causes Golden Pickle to miss. Chop Jr. with a little bit of a scary touch, but will take care of business. Chowigo attempting to touch and get the center, but Dead will take over.
Dead right now sitting in a 1v1. How's the pass middle to CJ, and it's going to connect to CJ. He's going to get the first goal of game number 3. I mean, this is absolutely what they needed to do. They needed to capitalize on these two-on-one passing plays, as the second man for the Mustangs isn't able to get back just in time. So 1-0 with 4 minutes left. I mean, even if there was a minute left, it's still anyone's game. And as I say that, Chop Jr. is gonna bang one home for the Mustangs, and they're gonna tie it up almost immediately. I believe that was like, what, 12 seconds, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, you can't rest on your laurels, can't rest on your victories against this Mustang side. Blubbernut takes away the near post, but Chop Jr. goes for the far post, and the tale as old as time, go near post, far post when you're caught one-on-one like that. And if you have a player who can put it consistently on that back post and just bounce it in, it is a very hard shot to anticipate, because it's so antithetical to abandon your near post to try to cut off that opportunity. And if you cut off the far post way too early, well, that's just an open net, which, mind you, is not an easy mechanic to hit, as we've seen across the QRLS. Many an opportunity where open nets have been missed, but you'd imagine Chop Jr. not being the type of player to miss those open nets.
No, Chop Jr. is one of those players that will smash an open net. We'll put that ball home, as the 50 is going to go right out to Chop Jr. Like, speak of the devil, and he shall get the ball, I guess. A little bit of a miscommunication, as Pickle's going to end up bumping Chop Jr. Chowigo's going to keep that ball in. Blubbernut's going to look to clear it out. Chop Jr. is going to bang it home. And can they capitalize off this pressure right now, as a centering attempt is going to get blocked out by CJ. CJ pinches that all the way down to the Mustangs half. I was not expecting that kind of speed or power on that pinch.
Especially not. That was kind of surprising. It took the Mustangs a little bit by surprise. They've yet to clear this out, and it feels like there hasn't been really much offense at the side of the Cyclones. They've just been kind of hanging on, but hanging on all you might need to do in order to create an opening here. CJ's going to try to get it centered. Golden Pickle's going to touch it away, but it's off the side wall, which is going to recenter it for Blubbernut, who's going to off the near post. Head. Oh. And we talk about missing open nets. That net wasn't 100% open, but he had a lot of open net to shoot at, and unfortunately he's going to put it just a little bit wide. We'll get it nicely centered though, but it gets cleared away. CJ's going to have to go all the way to the back wall, grab 100 in order to get this, but he's going to get dunked by Chowigo. Chop Jr. will center it, but it's going to get cleared. Dead maybe with the second touch. Can he get this on target? Not quite. But CJ will follow up and hit the crossbar. Unfortunate. He's trying to place that perfectly to keep that away from the defender. Can't quite do it, but Dead will bump it. Golden Pickle will get back in time.
Golden Pickle right now has been just everywhere on the pitch. I mean, not only has Pickle been scoring goals, but Pickle has been putting in some effort on defense. I mean, you know, I won't say anything, because the second I say something about Pickle, an unfortunate whiff happens. So right now,
welcome to the caster curse, Zaire.
Oh, there's been more than just this one instance since I've been in the QRLS. There's been a lot of caster curse moments. As Dead's gonna get a really good 50. CJ's gonna look to center it out. Chop Jr.'s gonna bang it away. No one's there to follow it up. CJ does get fake. Dead's gonna end up taking the 50, as Chowigo's just gonna bang the ball out. And I mean, we are still tied here.
Oh, I thought we were gonna not be tied really quickly, but Chowigo's gonna miss a great opportunity there. Chop Jr. get touch. CJ takes it the other way. Both Golden Pickle and Chowigo go for it. Chowigo's gonna miss. Golden Pickle's gonna hit this back. Gonna go for a centering attempt, but is gonna be handled a little bit scarily, but Dead will take care of it. And for the second time this series, we're looking at overtime unless Chop Jr. can do something. He's gonna bounce this off, get another touch, but he's gonna get cleared away. And we are in overtime for game 3.
I mean, this is still another point for the Cyclones. I want to see the replay. Yeah, I want to see the replay real quick.
Blubbernut, it looks like Blubbernut was Dead was reading Blubbernut to get that, and when Blubbernut missed, it just is unfortunate. Dead overcommitted. But that's gonna do it. Mustangs will get the sweep with 2 overtime points, so the Cyclones aren't leaving completely empty-handed, but Mustangs filling up with a full 6 points. And that will do it for this series. And we will have a player joining us now. It's gonna be Pickle.
What's going on, gentlemen?
How we doing?
Dude, we're
Did you
chilling.
expect the sweep?
I mean, listen, anything is possible when you have a team this good. All right, like we're just vibing, we're gelling, having a good time and making the most of it.
Honestly,
Talk,
fair enough.
yeah.
How?
Talk to me. Oh, sorry.
Actually,
go ahead,
go
Zach.
ahead, Drac. Go ahead.
All right, sorry.
Your question sounds more interesting than mine.
I'm so antsy to ask a questions. That match 1 where it just kind of felt like you guys were chasing the Cyclones. What switch happened in there? Because I feel like they're at the was it the overtime goal, or was there a moment towards the later half of the match where you felt like you were able to keep up with the Cyclones and eventually overtake them? When did you feel game 1 was you behind to you winning?
I think it was the first time we tied it, honestly. I think, we were down and then we were able to bring it back to essentially a 0-0, and that changes the whole flow, right? It's like hitting the reset button.
For sure, for sure. Following that up with a game 2 where you absolutely beat the brakes off the Cyclones with a very dominant win there. But Cyclones gets a goal late. Was that a moment for you guys where you maybe started worrying about game 3, or was game 3 always did you always feel confident that you'd get the sweep?
I think, when we were going into game 3, we were happy we got the series, right? But then, the idea is let's go ahead and get it. Let's get game 3. And, we decided to go into it with the same feeling that we had for the last 2 games and just tried to carry it over.
And final question from me, Chop Jr. doing wonderful things on offense, Chawigo doing amazing things on defense. Let's talk to me about, you know, playing with those two as like early on in the regular season, but it seems like you guys are doing some great things. And also, how much you're mad at Chawigo for stealing your hat trick.
Oh, you took my
Oh.
question, Drac. That was supposed to be mine.
Oh, that's good. That's funny. And it's funny because, I told them when we were actually, I think it was my second goal, and it was just an open net, and I was like, it's in, it's in, it's in, and neither one of them touched it. And I was like, listen, if I'm shooting it on net and you guys want to touch it to make sure it goes in, like, I don't care, take my goals, that's fine. But then when he got my hat trick, I was kind of like, oh, all right, no. But you know what? I enjoy playing with them. It's a good vibe. It's a good team. We communicate a lot. We talk a lot when we play, and you know what? We're always looking for where we need the improvement, and we're just trying to run with it and make the most of it.
Honestly, I mean, fair enough. And I think the last question that I want to ask Mr. Golden Pickle, is there any team in the league right now that you are looking forward to playing more than others?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's been so many changes in the league this season. The the force drops, the full draft, everything's kind of shaken up and changed. I got to be honest, of all the teams that there are, the one that I'm looking forward to playing the most is Vibe Clan. And the reason being is because they've essentially been the same team for like 5 consecutive seasons. And now it's going to be interesting to see how different they are. And that makes it exciting.
Honestly, fair enough. I mean, you heard it here first, guys. Vibe Clan, you better look out when the Mustangs are coming at you, because they are going to be coming at you hot. Golden
And
Pickle. Oh, go ahead,
and I
Jack.
do just want to shout out that is actually your next week opponent. So shot across the bow early on. We'll be looking forward to that match. Hopefully, I'm available to cast it. Um, and hopefully, if Zyrex by my side as well, that'll be even more fun. Although, all my casting partners I do enjoy. Um, Finally, you're gonna see these guys in week 10. We're gonna look forward to this rematch potentially. I'm betting CJ's already plotting about how to beat you guys later on. So, uh, congrats on the win, but can't always stop getting better because you know otherwise CJ's gonna come for you.
All I'm gonna say is, everybody better watch out because this is a team that I'm looking at, and I know we're gonna get better as the season goes on, and we're just gonna hit that rotation and that vibe, and we're coming.
I
This is my year. This is the one. I'm winning the finals. I'm saying it now.
calling his shot in week 2. Oh, we love that. We do love that. Anyway, thank you for joining us, Pickle. It is always a pleasure to talk to you. Um,
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for having me.
and we will look forward to the rest of this week where we've got some pretty good matchups moving on. Tomorrow it will be, I believe that's our Armada Astros. Armada is a team that I've kind of fallen in love with from the preseason. Mimsy looking to be back in the lineup. Hoping that's gonna be a good game against the Astros. And then later on, we've got on Wednesday that'll be Arctic Assassins Speed Demons. A little bit of a preview of that. Zyrek, how do you feeling about that matchup?
Well, right now we are feeling very confident. So far, we've been playing together. We've been playing together for the past couple of days, almost since we got picked up. So we're feeling pretty confident with our chemistry to hopefully bring a good game towards the Arctic Assassins.
Great to hear. Great to hear. Kings versus Vibe Clan will be on Thursday. And then on Friday, rounding out the matches that are currently scheduled, will be Hammerheads versus the Three Rocketeers. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all, especially in this very uh, short notice matchup. I think we didn't get word of this matchup till 2 hours before, so diligently watching the QRLS Discord and the Twitch channel notifications. We appreciate all of you stopping by. Thank you, Zyrek, for being a wonderful co-caster. I can't wait to cast the Kings of Vibe Clan with you. And to everybody else, keep it quick.